Have you ever wondered if the Tower of Babel was just a myth, or if there's some truth hidden in this ancient story? Could such a monumental structure have really existed, or was it simply a cautionary tale passed down through generations? Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing stories from the Bible and ancient texts, examining the Tower of Babel, a tower that was said to touch the heavens, built by a unified humanity, only to be scattered and divided by a mysterious act of divine intervention. But what's the real story behind it? Was the Tower of Babel just a symbol of human ambition, or is there more to it than meets the eye? Let's start with the biblical account. According to the book of Genesis, the Tower of Babel was constructed by the descendants of Noah, who, after the flood, settled in the land of Shinar. The people were united, speaking a single language. They sought to build a tower so tall that it would reach the heavens, a symbol of their power and unity. But God, seeing their pride and their desire to make a name for themselves, decided to intervene. In an instant, their language was confused, causing chaos and division. Unable to communicate, the people were scattered across the earth and the tower was left unfinished. But is this just a tale to explain the origin of different languages? Or is there evidence to suggest that something more might have happened? Could there have been a real tower built by an ancient civilization that inspired this story? To answer that, we need to look at the history, archaeology, and ancient texts from around the world. One thing we know for sure is that the idea of a giant tower or ziggurat is not unique to the Bible. Ancient Mesopotamian cultures, such as the Sumerians and Babylonians, constructed massive step pyramids called ziggurats. These were towering structures dedicated to their gods, and many of them were said to have reached for the skies, just like the Tower of Babel. In fact, some scholars believe that the Tower of Babel story might be based on the Great Ziggurat of Babylon. Built around the 6th century BCE, this enormous structure was dedicated to the god Marduk. Its size and grandeur could have easily been the inspiration for the biblical tale of a tower reaching the heavens. Could the story have been passed down through generations, evolving into the myth we know today? Now let's consider the idea of language. The sudden confusion of tongues in the story of Babel has fascinated historians and linguists for centuries. Is this an explanation for the vast array of languages we have today, or was it a more symbolic narrative meant to represent humanity's separation and division? Many theories exist, from the linguistic to the theological. Some argue that the story was a way for ancient people to explain the diversity of languages in the world, while others believe it may be an allegory for human pride and the dangers of overreaching. Another intriguing angle is the role of ancient mythologies in shaping this story. Ancient civilizations often shared similar myths about gods punishing human ambition and hubris. The Greeks, for example, had stories of giants attempting to reach the heavens, only to be struck down by the gods. Could the Tower of Babel have been influenced by these older traditions, reshaping them into a uniquely biblical tale? So, is the Tower of Babel myth or history? The truth may lie somewhere in between. While there is no definitive proof that the Tower of Babel was a real physical structure, the story may be based on real events, reflecting the ancient world's attempts to understand language, power, and the divine. It's possible that what started as a historical memory of a grand ziggurat or an ambitious project ended up evolving into a powerful myth, cautioning humanity against the dangers of pride and hubris. But the mystery doesn't end here. As we continue to explore the world's ancient ruins, we may find new clues that could bring us closer to the truth. The story of the Tower of Babel, whether myth or history, continues to captivate our imaginations, challenging us to think about the power of language, the consequences of human ambition, and the mysterious forces that shaped our world. So, what do you think? Was the Tower of Babel a real place, a warning from the past, or just a myth that grew over time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Epic Time Journeys for more deep dives into the mysteries of history.